a first look at the team that will represent the United States at the upcoming Olympics.
Dwight Howard jumping along with Amari Stoudemire. It's controlled by the white, but you bring up a valid point. There's motivation, the pride factor that you just alluded to. Jason Kidd, Mike Miller trying to pour it inside. And save, no, it's out of bounds. Or to reset the shot clock because they had put it all the way back at 24, but 12 remaining for the white. Almost a takeaway. We watched the scrimmage yesterday they had, but it's the big one, the full practice and scrimmage as it's an air ball from LeBron. Inside, offhand, Bosch can't get the finish. And on the run, Kirk Heinrich. The lob down low and an early dunk for Amari Stoudemire. As I mentioned, Dreamland, all-stars out there, guys that have won NBA rings. But there's only one out there with a gold medal, Mike Miller. I pump him up, he's a little flat. And Chris Bosch cleans it up underneath.
The story behind the game was that initially that tournament was scheduled for Venezuela. And we wouldn't have had the participation, you know, because the political environment and this is where the NBA and USA Basketball really joined forces. And so much of the success of USA was due to the NBA involvement. There's no question about it. The culture would have never been built. And once it was changed to Las Vegas, you know, what we wanted to do was bring in the star players, and all these guys are stars, but they're at different levels. Veterans, young, and then to try to take a look at not putting together 12 of the 12 best players, but maybe 8 or 9, and then 3 or 4 role players. So we were looking at all of that, and the intensity of the camp was outstanding, really, because the guys coming back from 06 really, I admire them because they wanted it's called the Redeem Team eventually in 2008, and they wanted to do something special. I'm very proud of those guys.
In a Laker town, Las Vegas, a long time a Laker town.
You moved LA over to Vegas?
It's part of the territory, partner. Mike Miller draws the contact and the foul from Kirk Heinrich.
That's like you annexed Hawaii as well. Part of Laker territory, right?
It's been a quiet summer for Kobe, hasn't it? Kobe looking forward because he was not available last summer for the championships in Japan. So it's all about Team USA for him now. And he's lighter by almost 20 pounds in camp.
Already?
Well, he'll put some back on maybe before October. Mike Miller, 0 for 2 inside position. And Dwight Howard elevates just a little for the dunk.
Well, I think the thing that Dwight Howard gives them is a power player inside. The guy that can rebound the ball, that can block shots, and that can dunk shots. And you have to put a body on him. If you don't, the results are pretty easy for Dwight Howard.
The solid work before the shot ever went up for Dwight Howard. 4th year out of Southwest Atlanta Christian Academy. His sophomore season in high school, he won a state title with the Lakers' first-round pick, Javaris Crittenton. And they were running the triangle at the time in high school. He gets the three-point play.
I think this is going to be dominated by Lakers today.
Kobe Bryant off the glass, picked up by Jason Kidd. Kidd must love this. What a look for LeBron James! One of the great guards in NBA history, Jason Kidd. Only a couple of guys have more triple-doubles than him. Oscar Robertson, Magic Johnson, Fast Company.
Well, it's very fast company, and what he is coming off his best season since 2001 and 2 when they went to the championship round, and Kidd was the talk of the NBA guard play, and it's been taken over by Steve Nash. But what he does is find the open man, an easy play for him to make.
He has always made his teammates look better. One of the great assist men in NBA history. And a lot of guys can thank him for some very healthy contracts.
Well, they can. One thing that he's done for this USA team is amp up the energy and the attitude in practice. They play real hard. They're very competitive, and Jason Kidd is one of the main reasons.
When you talk to these players, they all agree I've never played with a guy like Jason Kidd. The court vision, the awareness, long before the pass ever gets there. It'll be plucked out of the air by Bosch. Well, an observation for Mike Krzyzewski. And we talked about it. Finding the right combinations, rotations, chemistry. Bosch, will he get it? He does! Spectacular play. Fouled by Kobe. Chris Bosch stayed with it.
Well, they're trying to have the no layup rule here, but Bosch used some of that long length that he has to stay in the air and make this play happen. And again, if you talk about how good USA basketball is going to be for years to come, when you look at how young Bosch is, Darren Williams, Amari Stoudemire, you can go down the line. This is a very young group, and so they'll have them available for many years to come. Chris Paul isn't playing. Wade is not playing.
Chris Bosch is 23. Darren Williams is 23. Kirk Heinrich just turned 26. Carmelo turns 23. Second to last day of December. You're right. And it's going to be a double dribble. And he actually fouled the basketball because he wanted to use Kobe as a decoy a little bit too much. So Darren Williams gives it back to Jason Kidd in the white squad. 9-6 wide early.
But you watch ball pressure, and you see how they're very active and competitive and trying to get the ball from moving from spot to spot. An easy Mr. Bosch that time inside.
And again, Jason Kidd should have had another assist. What a lead by Jason Kidd. Would he be fun to watch on a regular basis? And I'm not talking about a league pass. It stays out for Carmelo Anthony.
You had your chance.
You're right. LeBron slams it home. Just find him on the run. So he lost it on the first try around the rim. Not that time. Amari with the left hand. Darren Williams with a nifty inside look to him.
I think one of the things that they're trying to do when they carry it forward into the tournament is to play quicker. Not allow the opponent to get a chance to dig in defensively. They've got enough people that can pass it, that can cut, that can shoot it, to where they should have easy scoring opportunities for everybody that plays.
LeBron James starting to heat it up. Bosch denies Anthony. It's right now a 12-2 run for the white team. Leaves it up for James on the fall away. Kid wanted another assist.
Now, James wanted that one, but his body was going too far to the right. He couldn't control himself.
Quick first step. Carmelo Anthony on the finish. Feel for Mike Miller on a play like that.
Mike Miller said, come back down here and guard me. Okay, no, I can't guard you inside, but come out here. And they just happen to be matched up, so we'll find out whether Mike Miller gets a chance to get even.
LeBron, step back. Tyson Chandler in the game now. So LeBron James continues that role for the white team.
Well, this summer's also given LeBron James a chance to work on his perimeter game. You know, it failed him in the finals, but he looks like he's been working on it, and his shot's a lot better, a lot smoother right now.
The no look. James wanted to go back that way. He'll stay with the three, though, and won't get the roll as Chandler clears it out. One of the leading rebounders in the league last year, Tyson Chandler. On the run, Kobe. And Stoudemire thought he was going to go on. Instead, he'll take the two-hander. So they are definitely sharing the basketball.
Well, I mean, I think that they all understand that. And this is not a team of selfish players. They all want to see each other excel. And they look like they want a timeout because they've been going pretty quick. They're all standing now.
The McMillan signaled for the timeout. Didn't get it. Chris Bosch, he's got some range. Can he fill it up from three? Following a little long. And Jason Kidd saw that all the way. Behind the back, LeBron James! How much fun is it to watch Jason Kidd on the floor with LeBron James? A total betrayal of trust. Now, Darren Williams in the backcourt. Little zone action? No, not yet, but Team USA is going to see zone. Battier all over Kobe. Kobe gets it anyway.
Well, that's when Kobe's most dangerous, is when you're all over him. And you know, Kobe brings an element to USA basketball where there's one guy who can get a shot against anybody in any situation. It's Kobe. Red with a miss.
Yeah, he just checked into the game. Stayed away from the Bosch pick. That slingshot action. Anthony goes right by. Chauncey Billups, you didn't have a player.
Now, in past international competitions, when the USA has been attacking the basket like this, what the opponent does is go into a zone.
Right.
That is then when the USA begins to struggle at the offensive end. They got plenty of shooters. Michael Redd is one of those, and he's off on his first two tries.
Yeah, real strong after his short of the first one. But we saw Michael Redd go for 53, go for 57. Everybody knows in the league how much he can fill it up, and a shooter just keeps going.
We know he's got no conscience. If he's out there, he's going to let it go, and eventually he's going to start making shots.
Amari Stoudemire always had good range right there with the face-up game to the high post.
Well, he's worked on that, and his shot is getting better and better. It's looking like he knows what he's doing.
Kobe behind his back. That would have brought the house down. Could be using the eyes you can hear in the background. Chauncey Billups in the pull-up game. And a 31-year-old just rewarded by the Detroit Pistons with a new extension. Kobe, first step by Battier. Foul on the floor, wasn't counted anyway.
And I've always felt that in international competition, the quicker the U.S. plays, the easier the game is for them. If you slow the game down, then you allow the opponent to get in the game, make you do things that you don't want to do, perhaps show some of your flaws. And that's what happened in the last two competitions. J.J. Reddick slips in the game.
J.J. Reddick, a shooter out of Duke. And a guy that we watched yesterday in practice, he can fill it up. Kobe.
But J.J. said, you know, I'm a long shot for this, making this team and playing in the tournament. But I'm here to build my resume, to get used to playing with players like this.
Kobe filling it up. That time, Kevin Durant on the two-hander. Kobe looked one way, Durant the other. Well, in your estimation, did the zones in international play over the last couple of years hurt the U.S. more than anything else?
So they did. They definitely did, because they weren't prepared to take the shot when it was there. They weren't prepared to attack it and stay on the aggressive move at the offensive end. The game slowed down. The USA team slowed down. They struggled, and particularly in Greece, whenever they got in trouble, it was because the opponent played zone.
We remind you, in FIBA competition, only 10 minutes, not 12 minutes per quarter. So a 10-minute period to start the game. Foul on his way to the basket. A couple of free throws coming up for Tayshaun Prince. A nice no-look by Kobe.
Well, Kobe Bryant has everybody here in Las Vegas doing and awing, not only his offensive ability, but his ability to find people in the open court. Kevin Durant, who they tricked on the introduction, they sent him out here. Everybody waited. They let the rookie take it right on the chin right from the beginning.
Yeah, good sheepish grin at the outset from Kevin Durant. He was burned. The veterans got him. In comparison, J.J. Redick is a vet, with Kevin Durant only 1 year in college anyway out of Texas. Tayshaun Prince, L.A. kid out of Dominguez High School in Compton. Same high school as Tyson Chandler. And what a presence he has grown into for the Detroit Pistons at both ends of the floor.
Well, you know, he's just solid. His versatility makes him so valuable to the Pistons, and will do the same thing for Team USA because he can guard, he can pass, he can rebound. There's nothing that he doesn't do well on the basketball court.
Tyson Chandler fouled. He's on his way to the basket. Dwight Howard with the foul. It's always an adventure when Tyson goes to the free throw line. Last year, career best across the board with 10 points, 12 boards, couple of blocks per game. Kirk Heinrich back into the contest for Team USA blue side. And Darren Williams, I like that pull-up. That mid-range game. He just took that 12-14 footer on the run.
But Tyson Chandler's first season with the Hornets last year was a coming-out party for him. I mean, you know, in past, he'd just been a limited player who rebounded the ball. If he was inside, he would dunk the basketball. But he's trying to improve his post game. He's trying to improve his jump shot. So all of those things came together for him with the New Orleans Hornets, and they're hoping that they will continue to blossom when next season rolls around.
And while we talk about players down in the post, Amari Stoudemire, he wasn't available last year. Tyson Chandler here, Amari Stoudemire. Let's not forget about Tim Duncan and his availability once again for Beijing. Red, out of his hands, you can see it wasn't going to be close. Out of bounds, his second air ball on his fourth attempt. He does have a three in the corner. And the corner is a short three. In fact, the three-point line in FIBA play, international play, 20 feet at 6.1 inches. So it's more than 3 feet shorter than the NBA. It's about 3 feet 3 inches shorter.
You know, and in Athens, the NBA players have been playing if the line was too close.
Kobe on the reverse. And he's wearing number 10. He had number 27 on yesterday, and I said to you, well, more jerseys to move.
But they have, you know, there are certain numbers that are good in international competition. So, you know, they go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way up to 15.
Right. 24 doesn't work.
Yeah, none of those numbers. If you had a different number than that, and we take a look at Kobe Bryant working down on the baseline and his uniqueness as an offensive force.
Heinrich set up by Kobe. Good look at the corner. And Michael Redd will come away with it. Combinations, chemistry. That's what they're really evaluating right now as well.
Well, it is, but I mean, they put these teams together with different combinations from the get-go and NBA scores to see how they would work and how they would adjust. And so you see, it's not by position. Kobe is normally a guard, and they have 3 guards out there then with J.J. Reddick and Kirk Heinrich.
Kirk Heinrich hits down the middle. The shot was impacted, and that'll do it for a totally entertaining first 10 minutes of play.
When coach was selected, we started interviewing players, and we knew that we had lost our status in the world basketball hierarchy, and we had to reestablish ourselves, and that meant starting over again. And we did just that, and that was the beginning. As I think back on those days, those were exciting times.
And how they passed the ball, where they moved the ball, where they looked to get their scoring opportunity. 6 on the clock. Got to go.
Durant, able to Anthony, can he get it off his time now?
And that is the thing
issue
that the international teams do. USA comes down, they're blitzing us with great passing, great individual effort. Suddenly they go into a zone, they overpass, they're shooting against the clock, they get no score. Blues in the zone.
And the shot clock had not been a factor in this game until they went to a zone. Chauncey Billups burned. He had a good look, and it just wouldn't stay down. So we'll go to the blue side.
Now, sometimes when they go into the zone, players are guilty of not taking the shot when it's there. Billups did. He just didn't make the shot. But you can't pass up scoring opportunities against the zone.
Ready. And J.J. off the dribble, showing great form. So the former Duke Blue Devil, J.J. Redick, in his second season coming up next year. 42 games last year. Left Duke is their all-time leading scorer. It's D2, 1-point game. Inside of 10 on the shot clock against the zone. Tayshaun Prince and knocked out of bounds with 5 left on the shot clock. So we can see how deliberate it has become against the zone defense.
So the zone should not change their offensive energy that much. They should have a better idea of who's out on the floor, who can get a shot from where out on the floor, and how to get that ball to that person. Michael Redd is an interesting player in that he is a Gatling gun. He played 4 minutes, he got 4 shots. We're taking him out now. But he is.
Yes.
Yes. 3. You give him 3. Yeah.
We gave him 2. Yeah. We want to look back at the video. So we are going to the truck right now. We're going to look back on that last shot for J.J. Redick. As the official comes over, that's one thing they can do in international basketball to make sure they
never rely on you.
So they're looking for it as we speak. We have extra monitors for our official over at the table.
You can't rely on you.
It looked like you gave him a 3.
I gave him a 3.
Okay, they gave him a 2 on the board. 26-25. We are going back. Well, the blue does not have a 3 yet. Over 3. Is this going to be their first? And anything better than that? Here's the other one. On the line, outside the line, put on the line. To deuce. That's what I saw.
Oh, that's what you saw.
I waited for you, Snap. I've known this man way too long. Going back to his Spirits of St. Louis days.
Oh, my goodness.
And those were good days. So J.J. Redick, given the 2. 5 left on the shot clock.
Well, he did get the call right, Mike Miller.
And Mike Miller, the guy who stayed long after practice yesterday. He knocks down the 3, and that was well beyond the arc.
Well, Mike Miller told me, we got our season done early, so I had a lot of time to work on my shooting, so his stroke is pretty true. Reddick would have missed that time.
That was a nice flyby as it's out of bounds. Hit the bottom of the basket. With a nice close by Mike Miller just to distract J.J. Reddick.
You know, last year when they were playing, the guy that was providing most of the perimeter shooting was Carmelo Anthony. And they have a lot of guys on this team this year that can make shots from the outside. Amari.
On a BOGO stick, Amari lost it on his way back out. I think it's time on the shot clock. So it was a reset. Out of bounds, last touch, it looked like. And they're going to say it was touched by Carmelo Anthony. Out of bounds on the turnover, it goes back to the white side. Now the FIBA Championships, right here, Thomas and Max, start August 22nd. And in Group A, or Group B rather, the USA's. There's the takeaway. Kevin Durant going the other way. Brazil, Canada, U.S. Virgin Islands, Venezuela, and the U.S. in Group B. Too long for Kevin Durant. A young man who we saw make a sensational pass. I mean, a very good look inside, known for his shooting. Tayshaun Prince. He's really increased his range over the last couple of years. So the White by 7 at 32-25. Carmelo Anthony too strong. Picked up by Chauncey Billups. And that's where you make sure they don't settle into the zone. Mike Miller, third most three-pointers in the NBA last year. A deep three. And he'll go to the line shooting three. Kirk Hinrich says, I can't believe it. He got the foul. Miller's got the shots at the line.
Well, Mike Miller's shooting NBA three-pointers. He could move in a step or two and still be able to get the three-point shot away. Two of them are very deep right there. He's got a little bit more space to get closer to the line, make the shot a little bit easier for himself. But he's definitely a perimeter threat to any team that throws up the zone against USA basketball team.
So many threes last year. Darren Williams coming back into the game, taking over for Kirk Hinrich. Kansas guy. Illinois comes back in for him. Kobe checking back into the game as Kevin Durant will sit down.
This is good exposure for Kevin Durant. I mean, to get to play against the NBA's best, and he has yet to play his first regular season game. This will tell him just how much work is ahead of him. And, you know, he's a very humble, hard-working guy, so he's just happy to be here. He said, look, I root my teammates on. I'm just happy to be involved in the experience.
I asked B.J. Carlesimo yesterday. We were at the practice, and Sam Presti, they were together as the general manager of the Seattle Supersonics. Tell me something about Kevin Durant. Right away, both said, incredible kid. Wants to work. Just a great attitude.
Well, he wants to be great. He wants to be great, and that goes along with the work ethic. Miller misses 2 free throws. 2
out of the 3 for a pure shooter.
Nice pass.
Yeah, a little slip inside, and Dwight Howard wasn't ready for it. And that's getting used to each other. Combinations of the rotations. Kobe on a stutter step. Had it knocked away and picked up by Shane Battier. Numbers favor the white side. Miller on the run. He'll get it. He's got it. The two-hander by Mike Miller. So he shows the inside game as well as the outside game in transition.
That also proves to you don't have to be the swiftest guy to get to the other end of the floor to get that layup.
Hustle, just a little. There's a zone. You can break it down. Anthony, you can do a smack from here. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. But that was good ball movement to break down the zone.
In any offensive set, the quicker you move the ball, the easier it is to score. And they were attacking Dwight Howard and Shane Battier inside. Battier comes out, Prince comes out, Kidd's in, back with LeBron James.
And back with the catalyst to put the White up on top to begin with, Jason Kidd. Now you've got 2 lead guards on the floor. Let's see how they work together. Jay Kidd and Chauncey Billups. James, as you mentioned, comes in as well.
Oh, I can guarantee you Chauncey Billups can shift to the shooting guard very easily. Go ahead, Jay. Bring it up. I'll shoot it. You don't have to do that work.
Chauncey in his 11th year out of Colorado as Carmelo Anthony gets the first 2. And a guy that started his career back with the Celtics in '97, on to Toronto during his rookie season, then to his hometown of Denver before going to Minnesota. Now he's finished his 5th year with the Pistons. So well-traveled early, I guess you'd say a late bloomer and an all-star.
Well, definitely a late bloomer. I mean, you throw in MVP in the finals as well. But he had to find a team that played the style that suited him, and they have found it. Howard inside.
How about the pass by Jason Kidd once again?
Well, now he's going to pass the ball. He didn't no problem.
He's sharing. It was a 9-0 run before the free throws. Still a 10-point lead. I'm talking about the white side. Stays out for Anthony. Kobe kept it alive. Did he ever get up there? James peels away with Kidd. Don't leave the shooter. Mike Miller can't make him pay though. It's over to Kobe on the deflection. So this phase works for Team USA. Either white or blue. half court. Another story against the zone. Redick came up short.
All the shots that the shooters have been getting, Reddick, Miller, those are shots that they're going to be able to make. LeBron James trying to get away, he gets fouled.
On the run out by Anthony. The pass by Jason Kidd.
If you continue to move, Jason Kidd will always find you with the pass. And that's also going to make this team better. So you have a guy that's willing to pass the ball. That means you're going to get better ball movement, better player movement, easier score.
Inside to Dwight Howard again on cue, Jason Kidd. And Jason Kidd now has a half dozen assists.
And Amari cannot gamble inside. He's trying to get around the bigger, stronger Dwight Howard, and Kidd is making him pay.
Kobe floating on the baseline instead of, yes, he pays off. Off the bank on his way down. Almost hit the floor before he released it. Kidd wanted to go inside. First shot of the game, will it be? No. Plenty of time on the shot clock for Jason Kidd. Against the 2-3 matchup.
And the bad thing about that exchange was Chauncey Billups had that shot to begin with. He turned it down, then Jason turned down 2 times.
Darren Williams attacks. Goes to the line, looking for the 3-point play. But they came out. We're looking at one of the great Hall of Fame point guards in league history, Jason Kidd, but 2 guys that are headed in that direction, and Darren Williams and Chris Paul, same draft back-to-back.
The explosion of Darren Williams a year ago, it just tells you how quickly these players can come together. And again, when you read off the ages, Chris Paul who's not available, Darren Williams who's available, these are all very young players that are going to be great for a number of years to come. So USA basketball should be in great shape.
Darren Williams second in the league in assists last year. He averaged 9 a game to go along with 16 points. His shot's gotten much better. His range has increased. Okay, now that's an 8-point lead for the white side. James didn't get the layup. Goes to the line to shoot 2. We are about at 80% capacity with Thomas and back. On scrimmage. We are headed to a timeout.
Well, I don't think we learned that we were going to have to build a culture until we lost in 2006. We didn't really understand the environment that we were going to have to be successful in. We were too young. We tried to play our game instead of adjusting to the international game. And so after that, we started the structure, and we decided on adding 3 more veteran players. The 3 that we really wanted were Kobe Bryant, Jason Kidd, and Chauncey Billups. And then we instituted a kind of an elaborate scouting system. And we were humbled in 06, as we were in 3 of the previous 4 international competitions. Our goal was to win the gold medal, but also to win the respect of our country and the world. And so we wanted to do it in that fashion, and 207 was the start of that.
3-point line, unlimited range for Mike Miller. Developed into one of the great marksmen in the NBA. Mike Miller, another guy that's just 27 in his 8th year out of Florida. Matchup 2-3, and now deep into the shot clock. The blue side, Darren Williams. They backed off. Real short.
Well, when he was wide open at the top, that's when he should have taken it the first time around. And this is what they got to learn about playing against the zone. When you're there and that's a shot that you can take, you got to make it, you got to take it, you got to make it.
Leaves it off, and Kevin Durant on the finger roll. So Kevin Durant on the board. He's got a couple of buckets. The slingshot of Michael Redd. You don't see that form all that often. Kobe.
No, you don't see it at all, but he's probably the most effective player in the NBA with that style of shooting. And when he gets hot, I mean, he sizzles. You know, he's kind of streaky. He's on a bad streak right now, but that can change with one make.
Little 2-3 from the blue side. Miller, same spot. Almost the same result. Last bucket was Kevin Durant, the opposite end. We were discussing what an experience. It's blocked away. Good close by LeBron James. He let Darren Williams think he was going to have a clear path to the basket. James leaves it off for Miller. He's always found his teammates in Cleveland.
And the beauty of it is you have a lot of guys that have great individual offensive skills, but have great passing skills to go with it, and that makes the game easier if you will just continue to move Kobe deep.
Kobe gets a triple.
Kobe doesn't like to be behind, and they're down 7 right now, so you know at any time he's going to start trying to make some shots. Miller missed again.
Miller's a volume guy out here, isn't he? Kobe sends it to the sideline. Kobe back to back. He's got another 3. All of a sudden, a closer affair thanks to back-to-back triples for Kobe. So Blue with the first 2 threes coming. Now from number 24.
They fall back into his zone. LeBron beats not good.
It was out of his hands, you can see from our angle. Bosh gives him a second chance on the dive. LeBron, thread the needle, why don't you, Chris Bosh? A sensational pass.
Well, if you keep passing and cutting, the game is simple. And the white team has made it fairly simple. Durant.
Quick release. Good close that time by Mike Miller.
You know what I'm saying? If Kobe can do that, I can too.
Red creates contact. Goes to the line to shoot 2.
It looked as though the white team was cruising. All of a sudden, Kobe Bryant makes a couple of threes. It is a 6-point game with Michael Reddick at the line. When we watched him yesterday in practice, the most vocal players out there on the floor, Jason Kidd for his team, Kobe Bryant for his team, and they continue to drive their teams.
Red gets 1 of 2. Both teams have to do a better job with free throws, as they're both right at about 50%. And also turnovers, 17 combined, 9 for one side, 8 for the other. Got to clean that up. Behind on the pass, looking for Carmelo Anthony.
Well, I think that the coaches are all right with the turnovers because guys are trying to make good passes in good situations, known by the Blues.
Again, Mike Miller. I think it's a lock. He's going to be spacing and available. So Mike Miller, 14 points, tying for team honors with LeBron James for the right side. Kobe, way outside, on the sideline. 51-44 as Kobe is up to 17 to lead all scores.
Now, Kobe's not going to let his team get too far behind. Red.
That was a quick release for Michael Red, kept alive. Chris Bosh battered it, tried to poke it to himself. Anthony's got it. Kobe again, quick release, not the same result. So we're down to the final minute. Jason Kidd, the pass to LeBron James. A little scoop. Carmelo Anthony splits it, gets down the middle. As LeBron James, and they picked up the pace again. It's behind. He wanted to go to Michael Red. And a little bit too much of unselfish play now.
Well, it really isn't. I mean, players are open, and they just got to get used to playing with one another. But Jason Kidd, he does so many things to get guys easy shots. It looked like he was going to put that one up for himself and left it for LeBron James.
7 assists for Jason Kidd. 10 turnovers apiece. Miller. You better come out. 56-46. Mike Miller's got 17. Carmelo Anthony shows his range. Final 15 seconds will play for 1. Ron James will slow it down as he looks at the clock. So 2 out of the starting 5 for each side. Double figures Kobe and Carmelo Anthony. For the blue side. Down to the last 3 seconds. Make it 2.5 off the deflection by Amari Stoudemire. 16 for LeBron James and Mike Miller with 17. Mike Miller's damage from the outside. Kidd on the lob, and Anthony read it from the weak side. They won't get it off in time. But a game of runs as we expected in the first 20 minutes of play.
Basketball has been a game changer for me.
It's helped me grow as a teammate and a leader.
By establishing standards for youth development, USA Basketball is making a difference for players of all ages.
Through education and training,
They're helping to make the game safer
and more fun. Make sure your child is taught the right way.
Ensure you're the best coach you can be.
To learn more, visit usab.com or download the USA Basketball mobile app.
been taken for granted that we would get gold medals almost every tournament, and there has been some slippage in their attitude and their preparation for the game, and the world made them pay. And I think that these guys want to prove that they're still the best players in the world.
Over the top, Bryant Howard, and it was poked away. Out of bounds off Howard. So heads up play on the baseline by Darren Williams. And a turnover to start the second half. Very quiet but efficient first half for Chris Bosh.
Now they're showing zone. White is showing zone. Let's see what the blue team does in order to score and attack against Lamar.
At the free throw line. Well, second basket, same spot.
That's where you want to go with your initial pass. Get in there and then let the zone react to that player. And if he doesn't get the shot, he can make a pass to people cutting through the rim.
Blue stays man. Dwight Howard can't handle the pass. Tyson Chandler saves it. Screen and roll. Williams, the teardrop and the roll. So Team White, 13 turnovers, and that last one cost them. It's only a 3-point lead for Jason Kidd's side right now. 56-53 on the curl. LeBron James over the top to Dwight Howard. I don't think they want to get in his way.
It wasn't exactly the way that LeBron drew it up, but they did get the dunk anyway. Murray, and he's been working on that deep shot, so he's trying to find out whether he's going to be an effective three-point shooter in international play.
Mike Miller's spotting up on him in the first half. Bosh underneath caught the bottom of the standards. And it'll be Dwight Howard getting the finish on the finger roll with the left hand. And you want to keep him out of the zone, push it as often as possible. Carmelo Anthony off the lip of the rim. Good entry pass, Darren Williams. He's going to struggle to start the second half by Anthony, and he touched it last out of bounds to Team White.
Anthony has an inside-outside game, and he was short on both occasions, but he's constantly attacking. He's got great strength in putting this inside and a great first step from the outside.
Remind you, there are 32 players listed for Team USA. 17 suited up, 20 here. Others like Dwayne Wade available down the road. Is fouled before the shot by Carmelo Anthony. And in the FIBA Championships coming up in August, when they submit their roster snapper, they can give it to them 24 hours before the first game on the 22nd. So plenty of time to make decisions.
And you know, they're going to adjust the roster, I think, according to what they think they need to get through the Tournament of the Americas. And we'll find out what adjustments Coach K thinks they need in order to put the best chemistry out on the floor.
Now LeBron with Kobe all over him, trying to smack it away, going to his weak side, right by Kobe with the left hand. Amari Stoudemire all through that play. On back door, Anthony from Kobe. He's going to struggle to Carmelo. Chris Bosh at the opposite side. Will he ever get up there? 62-53. I said a quiet and efficient one as Dwight Howard thought he got ball. Amari Stoudemire instead will have 2 free throws. Bosh had 10 boards to lead everybody in the first half.
Again, it's Jason Kidd putting his vision on display and an easy opportunity for Chris Bosh. You know, Jason Kidd has yet to take a shot, but he's gotten a lot of people.
We thought that one in the middle where he flipped it off was going to be a shot. It looked like it was a scoop play. So Jason Kidd now, has he got more than 7? He's still at 7 assists with 5 boards.
He had 7 at halftime. He just got one. Are you taking him away?
Now the official board has him with 7. It must be talk radio around here. 10-second delay. 62-55. White on top of the blue. It almost went off the fingertips of Dwight Howard. Lost by Amari Stoudemire. And Dwight Howard's looking at Jason Kidd like, man, that was a great idea.
But, you know, Dwight Howard is not used to getting those kind of passes.
Exactly.
And, you know, so that's an adjustment for him.
Who has passed better than Jason Kidd in recent years? You go back to Magic Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the 2-time MVP was getting all the attention about making great passes.
And he does.
So. But, I mean, again, Jason Kidd is a unique player in his own right and should be applauded for what he does and does well. Kobe.
And it stays out after LeBron James got it to the opposite side. Bounced around Kobe. Trying to find a handle. Fresh shot clock. We're inside of 6 minutes. Carmelo Anthony. Finally the finger roll. So the reverse for Carmelo Anthony in a 7-point deficit. LeBron James glances over to Stoudemire. Spin by Darren Williams. The recognition kid was coming. The 23-year-old trying to get it to Kobe. Dwight Howard alters that play. And it's going to be Tyson Chandler on the putback. Tyson Chandler, his first basket after hitting a free throw in the first half. They want to push it. You can hear him in the background. You want to get in shape. Come out with these workouts. Kobe, too strong. Jason Kidd with the uncontested glass. We discussed the zone in the first half. Bosch trying to show his range. It wasn't close. So both teams a little bit cold in this last 90 seconds to 2 minutes.
Well, they're a little bit tired as well, and so they're getting stretched out. And again, if you pass the ball, move yourself, you're going to get an easy chance to score. Mike Miller not moving his feet, fouls Kobe.
You want to call it a gimmick defense, but some of the NBA coaches use it out of timeouts off of maybe a made free throw where they're going to bring the ball up slowly. Well, just a curveball, a new wrinkle.
They're trying to change up things, but most NBA coaches don't like zone. They don't like them offensively or defensively, but when they find an opponent that doesn't handle it well, they'll go to a zone and try to get some advantage that way. Kobe gets the first free throw.
That was Kobe's first point of the second half. Making 2 in the stride. Kobe's got 19. 3 in double figures now. Kobe with 19, Stoudemire with 10, and Anthony with 15 to the Blues side. Kobe called to the hole. Trying to track Jason Kidd.
I know Kobe was in the stop, man. He really was. He started right down there and chased them all the way down, and he was showing that, Jason Kidd, you're going to have to work the rest of this 5-minute period. I'm going to be after you. Look at him right now. Trying to break in, make sure he can stay between Kidd and the ball.
All these are FIBA officials. Tommy Nunez Jr., one official from the NBA. Mike Miller on a roll. Mike Miller going under the scoop and hole. So Miller up to 19 with his first deuce of the second half. Tying Kobe for team honors. Kevin Durant has checked back into the game out of the timeout. What is Kirk Heinrich? In the matchup zone, it's deep into the clock. Carmelo Anthony, the three-pointer. It's down to only 2 after it was 7 at the break, and it's given away. Kobe up against Kidd, and he tried to reverse it, blocked away. Heinrich gets it. So LeBron James trailing the play. Kobe thought he had to deal with Kidd. James stayed there. What a block by LeBron.
Somebody can pay for that. Kobe's not taking that.
Get a bit of LeBron beyond the arc. And across to Tyson Chandler. Heinrich doesn't have the numbers. More than 4 to play in the third. Tied at 66. Beautiful pass by Carmelo Anthony, but Jason Kidd saw it coming as he wanted Durant. What a pass by Kidd. Miller 3 for 3. And the lead again for Team White. It all starts on the hands of Jason Kidd.
So you think they made up their mind who might be their main distributor? Huh?
What a foul. Kevin Durant timed it very well. The length of that young man. He's got some long arms. It's a 1-point lead for Team White at 69-68.
This is Kobe coming in, and he thought he had enough to stretch out and get it, but LeBron was with him all the way. We had just had something to say to LeBron. The timeout too.
They're taking our feet, so you can either use in the eyes of the background here at the Thomas and Maxim, because it's also up on the big screen. Inside of 4, left in the third.
Substitution, Red's in the game, Billups is in the game.
But not exactly spacing on the transition there.
And Battier is in the game.
Gosh. Oh, first dunk. Chandler got him. All Chris Bosh does is fill up the box every night. Very efficient play.
When you talk about a guy that's deceptive, it is Bosh because he's long, he's quick, he can get in the air. That one they threw down, and D'Antoni This team got back in the game. Now he's on his official. That foul was way back over here. It wasn't underneath the hoop. He shouldn't be getting a three-point play.
Don't tell Mike D'Antoni that it's July. He thinks it's May and it's the NBA postseason. Chris Bosh knew out of his hands and goes right back with a two-hander.
4-point play.
The guy who shoots it knows where it's going. 73-68. Team right by 5. Kobe trying to find some space on the crossover and on his way down didn't get the roll. They liked it anyway here. Kevin Durant fouled by Battier and Kobe comes in just to make sure. Shame there's no talent out there.
Well, no, what this scrimmage has given us is an idea of just how competitive they are. And D'Antoni thought that Bosh stepped on the line, but he danced around it. So this is a good field goal, but he wanted to call against Tyson Chandler before he got around that corner.
Bosh already with a double-double. He's got 10 points, 12 boards. Kevin Durant hits the first of 2. The rookie out of Texas, second player selected in the draft.
You know, this practice is not like an all-star game where the all-stars just come and it's kind of an exhibition. Nobody wants to get hurt. These guys are playing hard. They're going at one another. They all want to be a part of the USA basketball process, and they all want to play in the tournament.
They are competing for 12 spots. There's a great deal of motivation right now, and at the very beginning of the telecast, we talked about the pride factor. They want to look good against their peers. 73-70. Billups thought it was going to be available. It wasn't. Got away. J.J. Redick with a nice up fake. Kevin Durant, the quick release. Sonic fans will love that. For a long time to come. It's even at 73. And all of a sudden, Kevin Durant, not a factor in the first half offensively, is up to a dozen and counting. Quick release. Michael Redd had Kirk Minor all over him.
And I think this is one of the things that they should always try to do against their opponents. Attack them, get up the floor quickly, try to make them play, steal Durant.
And the length of Kevin Durant. Amari Stoudemire on the follow-away. Nobody got down to account for Bosh. Stoudemire recovered. It's off his shin, though. And that's an easy deuce. So it's tied at 73 with 2:21 to play. We talked about the quarters. They're only 10 minutes apiece. That shouldn't be a factor for a team that can get as much offense as this group.
Well, I don't think the scoring will be a problem, and I think as they get in better condition, that will work to their advantage.
Billups in the backcourt with Michael Redd. Sets it up for a good three-point shooter, but it wasn't the corner shot that Battier prefers. Durant trying to spin over, and what about the baby to pull up? Kevin Durant showing the repertoire, the full arsenal early. Say something, guy. 75-73.
He's gotten his feet wet, and the second half is more what you can come to expect from Kevin Durant. Michael Redd from the corner.
Reddick tried to get there. 47 left in the third. And we're going to have a timeout on the floor, I believe. No, they won't give it to him. Chairs were coming from the sideline.
But the one thing that Kevin Durant can do is score from a lot of different places in a lot of different ways, and that's one of the moves that he threw at Texas opponents all last year in the college level, and showing that you can make it here, you can make it anywhere.
Out of Austin led the Big 12 in scoring, rebounding, block shots. And this goes over to Dwight Howard. So the length of Howard and Bosh on the right side. Durant picking up the pace. And Reddick committing the foul after Redd went to his weak side with a very fast first step. So the Blues just trying to get a lead. They've been close. They've tied it a couple of times here in the third, but trailed by 1. 76-75 with a minute 23 to play. They had a 4-point lead at the outset, 6-2, and then all of a sudden it was a 14-2 run. For Jason Kidd and LeBron James. Billups. Set up for Dwight Howard.
You know, the guards know that the shot blockers like Amari Stoudemire are going to be coming. If they can make one more pass, they're going to be able to get the score. Nice play for Heinrich.
Yeah, Weed just went to the basket. Saw Dwight Howard at the last second.
But he should have taken that shot. Right.
Michael Redd.
He may be on one of those streaks. where suddenly everything he touches goes in.
Final minute. It started out slowly. It's picked up in the last 5 minutes of the third. Step back for Kurt Heinrich. He's got a long deuce to make it a 4-point affair at 81-77. For Heinrich with his second basket on his 6th try to go along with 3 assists. Billups wants Howard. They converged in a hurry. It didn't make any difference, though. Muscled it home with the left hand.
Well, you know, Howard has got tremendous strength, and if he can get the ball down in the deep post and you're on his back, he's just going to take you in anyway. And, you know, his favorite shot is the dunk, and he's put a few of those down this afternoon.
And he's always been there. We go to the final 10 seconds. Each of his first 3 seasons, Snapper, 82 games. There every step of the way. Off for a Heinrich, picked up by Red at the buzzer. Will down to the toes. Online, but leave it long. After what happened in Seoul, it was passed, and it had nothing to do with the NBA. It was passed that the U.S. could use NBA players. And now, with so many international players in the NBA play as well, you're seeing Brazil, a couple of players like Barbosa, Benet. It's helping everybody. Carmelo Anthony, the step back and air ball because of the good defense by Shane Batty. Michael Red, fall away. Heinrich closed. Stoudemire's got the board. So it's a 6-point lead. Heinrich, little OC, wanted to pass, and they're going to call the charge. So it goes the other way, and will
you don't have a lot of guys that will you don't have a lot of guys that will step in and take charges in this collection. But Battier does that on a regular basis. That is part of what makes him unique to his team, is that he does all of the little things to try to make the game a little bit easier for his team and his teammates.
His honorable mention last year, All-NBA defensive squad. It was a block from behind by Heinrich. He thought he got it clean. Foul is going to be underneath. Stoudemire with a little bump. A couple of free throws coming up for Chauncey Billups.
07 was the year when we had a lot of work to do because we lost against Greece in 06. We wanted to redeem ourselves, and we became known as the Redeemed Team in 08 as we went to China to participate in the Olympics. So I look at 07 as a critical year when we kind of put a lot of things together to solidify who we were.
They would take 10 pros and a couple of amateurs, a couple of collegiate players, and they found out that people were still being left off, and now they got to come up with a way that makes it a little bit better for everybody involved in the process.
A hold. It was called off the ball of Michael Red. And also, you don't have to submit it too early. And chiseled and granted, you don't have to say, these are my 12. Because go back to 1988, in Seoul, they were void of shooters once Percy Hawkins went down. They didn't have enough shooters in Seoul. That was a bronze year in 88. And now battle back for the U.S. squad. The U.S. squad, don't forget, in 2004, they had a 5-3 record in Olympic competition. The cleanup by Dwight Howard, who pinned into the window. Off the miss, Anthony tried to chase it down. The length of Tayshaun Prince got a piece of it. Dwight Howard fouled on the reach. He's okay. And he'll shoot 2 on the foul by Kevin Durant. So a little ragged, but more free throws coming up for Team White. That's the latitude now. The Team USA is displaying with 32 listed.
You see Dwight Howard closing things down in the middle. The one thing you can also do in international competition, the ball's on the rim, you can knock it off. Now, we haven't seen these guys do much of that, but they also have to adjust to having shots that go up and then they're wiped away and they're not considered goaltending.
Well, the FIBA Americas Championship a month away. Once they're exposed to that more often, they'll get used to it in a hurry. Dwight Howard in his 4th year for the Orlando Magic. You're signing a long-term extension with the Magic. 3rd-team All-NBA last year. Won't be long before he's 2nd and 1st-team NBA. He's 7 of 7 from the field. 3 of 3 at the free throw line as Darren Williams lost the hit. Pressure on the hip from Chauncey Billups. It has spurted out to a 9-point lead for Team White. Can change in a hurry. Kobe comes back out there and a couple of others.
Okay.
It was off the rim otherwise. Bryant Howard was there and Reddick. Anthony on the run out by Battier. Strong move to the hole. Free throw coming up for Carmelo Anthony. It hasn't worked outside. He goes inside.
Well, Anthony is aggressive and very strong. It is difficult to deal with him from the perimeter with that quick first step. Battier runs out. He goes right by, takes the contact, and will have a chance for a three-point play.
The foul on Tayshaun Prince is his first.
You know, and really the resuscitation of Carmelo Anthony's career, as you know, he had gotten himself kind of upside down about who he wanted to be, how he wanted to play. It started with the Jerry Colangelo going to him and talking to him and saying, look, everything that's gone down in your career in the past, we're past that. We'd like you to be a part of this process, and Carmelo has embraced it, and he's played extremely well.
And it's helped him mature as an individual more rapidly, possibly, than he would have had he just stayed out of the international competition playing for Team USA. 23-year-old from Baltimore. Just out for Darren Williams. 7:50 left. It's been that way for the blue side to start the final 10 minutes of regulation. 9-point lead for White. Anthony had it popped away. Sneaky length for Tayshaun Prince. Well, he's always one of the guys that you think about the all-defensive squad. Setting up Dwight Howard before the shot.
You know, as good as Amari Stoudemire is, where he has his trouble is when he's playing against a bigger, stronger, quicker guy. And when he allows himself to get pinned inside, he's going to end up getting foul troubles. Threw it away. Billups.
They're not in the same weight division.
Amari looks thinner right now than he has at any point in his NBA career. He's in tremendous shape.
There's about a 30-pound difference between the two.
Well, just the shoulders alone.
Darren Williams trying to lose Prince.
Howard has massive shoulders.
Mismatch. Billups takes it away from Stoudemire, setting up right on the reverse.
Oh, no, that game was so much fun. We got after it. We got after it in that game. But I can, more than anything with that, I can just remember our practices on that team. It was so competitive, man. It was so competitive. Kobe, he played so hard during that experience. I mean, we all gained so much respect for one another, but to have the LeBrons and the Kobes and, you know, myself and J. Kidd, we were kind of the older guys on the team at the time. But, man, we took USA basketball so serious in lieu of, you know, the 2006 situation. So that was kind of like a rebirth for us. Coach K was so amazing as a coach, and he challenged us in ways that I don't think a lot of those guys have been challenged before. So that was a beautiful time for USA basketball.
5 of 13. Amari Stoudemire. You saw it coming when he took the first step. Opposite end, Howard. And I think they need a break after that with an exclamation point. So Amari Stoudemire in double figures with a dozen. On the pick and roll game, Williams up against Prince. The mid-range game, Carmelo Anthony. Batting would impact the play. So catch up time in a hurry. Kobe back out there. And can they get it done offensively? Billups on the follow-away. Nice Chandler's length as he backs it out to Kobe. Second thoughts for Billups. He thought about passing. It was too late, though.
Well, it's a 9-point game with Kobe out on the floor. You're never out of a game down 9. He thought he got fouled on that play, but got no whistle.
And on the deflection, Michael Redd says, look at I foul. It will go out to Darren Williams. Trailers Kevin Durant. And it's blocked away by Battier. Stays with him. Kevin Durant. He's been in double figures and up to 15 now. Down to 7 at 94-87. Who's going to run out of gas first?
Well, you know, they're not quite as energized as they were 30 minutes ago. So both teams are starting to show some effect in the game. But, you know, now we'll find out who wants to win the game. We'll find out whether competitive spirit goes up and whether not. You know, Kobe doesn't like to lose. The young fella, Kevin Durant, is showing his mettle by coming out there and scoring some points when they're down. And Anthony has stayed hot, stayed close, kept them in the game. 96-89, 4:35 left in this game.
That last one was Dwight Howard way above the cylinder again. Michael Redd can give him a three. 99-89.
What you can't give Michael Redd is a sliver of daylight because he can get it up in a hurry. Just when you think you got him covered, he's letting that shot go. Anthony.
On the line, an air ball. It would have been a 2. 4:09 left. Jason Kidd. LeBron James checking.
Earlier that summer, I flew to Akron to meet with LeBron and to talk about having these guys, the veterans, come. And, you know, he spoke so highly of all three of them and about Jason Kidd's passing, how he could learn from him, Chauncey's leadership. Kobe, at that time, was considered the best player in the NBA. And his preparedness was at a level that all the players knew was the best. And so they interacted, and those older players brought a level of experience along with the talent to help the younger guys who had the talent gain the experience of preparation, sharing. It was kind of beautiful to watch the respect that they showed one another. And we as a coaching staff, we tried not to get in the way sometimes, to allow them to coach one another so that they would create ownership of the team. And they did. They're really good guys. They were really good guys. We never had any problems.
He has made everybody else look good, though.
Well, and you've got a lot of offensive players out here, so, I mean, he recognizes that someone has to facilitate, and he's been more than willing to do that.
Team White goes to the zone, out of the timeout. Kobe shooting over the zone. Too strong. Tyson Chandler gives him a second chance.
Well, that's what Tyson Chandler did all year long. Anthony, with the strength, gets fouled inside.
It wasn't going to be an easy one with Dwight Howard there. Carmelo Anthony going to the free throw line to shoot two, trying to make it a 3-point deficit. Out of the 2006 championships, Japan led the U.S. in scoring, 20 a game, shooting 50%, hit 44% on his threes. A lot of people forget it was one game. They went 8-1 last year. It was the one game against Greece where they lost by a half dozen.
You always have this combination of pool play, medal play, and once you get into the medal round, that's where it hurts you the most. So if you're going to lose a game and continue to advance and go on and win a gold medal, you can lose in the pool, but you can't lose once you get to the medal round. Miller.
Mike Miller. Long fences there as it was popped away from behind. Darren Williams says it was all ball. They'll give him the foul. So 7-0 run right now for the blue side.
But this is a scrimmage, and we're seeing how competitive the scrimmage is, and you're seeing guys want to win this game. Dwight Howard gets a breather. Chris Bosh back in the game.
Well, there are 3 officials on the floor, and they're wearing different color jerseys. One's got white on, one's got blue on, and they've been after it since the beginning. 2.5 left. What a move by Bosh. The flip by Chris Bosh makes it a 5-point lead. What an athlete at that size. Kobe looked one way, went the other to Carmelo Anthony. Slapped away by LeBron. Now the crease for Williams. And he couldn't believe it either. Tyson Chandler on the follow.
Well, Tyson Chandler kept that ball alive twice, and they were able to get a finish on it. The game stays a 3-point game, 101-98.
His length has made a difference. Mike Miller leading Durant. Right off the heel to Darren Williams. So the opening's there for Team Blue. Inside of 2 to play. A 3-point deficit. Is it all even? Yes! Kobe with the triple. It is even at 101.
There were some defining moments regarding Kobe, obviously, and I remember sitting in the stands with Kobe in '06 as the team was working out in preparation for the '06 games in Tokyo, and he was already chomping at the bit, wanting to participate. And then when he showed up for camp in '07, it was an amazing time, in my opinion, in that he showed that he was totally committed to being the leader. He showed up in the workout room hours before anyone else. Others followed him. In practice, he was the guy diving on the floor. Others followed him. And so it was a great, as I think back on those memories, that's what stands out for me with Kobe. He was committed. He was focused. He was a leader on and off the floor, and we owe him an awful lot.
Last year, career best across the board, averaging 23 and 11 a game.
Well, and also he got his first appearance in the playoffs, and I'm sure that they will come back with a different approach to the regular season, thinking that they'll be back in the playoffs again and try to have a longer run.
Well, what a draft he was a part of, though. That'll live for a while, won't it? LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, Chris Bosh, he was the fourth overall selection. Dwayne Wade right behind him at 5.
Well, there's some bets out there that say that this year's draft is deeper and better and may surpass that one. Kobe against LeBron.
1 point lead after the Bosh free throw.
He's shooting it.
Kobe on the follow away.
He's shooting it.
Doesn't. And so Kobe gives them a lead, their first lead since the opening 2.5 minutes. 103-102. Bosh losing the handle. Can he retrieve? Yes. Now the final minute. You think they'll want this a little bit? It's off Anthony. James gave it away. Kobe, the trailer's Williams. And it's kicked away. It'll go out to Kobe. Almost taken away. Durant now on the floater. Anthony did bring it down. It was off balance.
LeBron James is wide open.
And it'll be Jason Kidd's first basket of the game, his first attempt to give the White the lead by 1. Well, they're on their feet. They living large in Las Vegas. Kobe calls a timeout. They have come to their feet in a scrimmage with 21 seconds to play.
Well, they don't get to see the NBA players play at this competitive edge very often. They did get the All-Star game here, but these guys are playing a competitive effort, and they want to win. Both teams want to win the game, and you knew that Kobe was going to have an impact on how the outcome of this game was going to go down. He tied it up with that three-pointer, and this 2-point field goal gave him a 1-point advantage.
Kobe has an advantage because the crowd base here. Lakers play every preseason in Las Vegas. They like them a little bit.
You keep annexing. I don't know that Las Vegas has moved any closer.
They have not seceded from Los Angeles. It'll be brought in by Williams and almost lost by Stoudemire.
Kobe's got the ball. Tayshaun Prince got the job.
They flatten out and spread it out. Shading over Kidd and James. Kobe over Prince for the lead. Got it! 1-point lead, Team Blue. You knew it was coming. Could you stop it?
One thing you can see is the incredible spacing. It was more of a 5-out where there wasn't a big guy in the lane, and you had shooters around him. If he had to bail out, he would bail out to guys who were ready to shoot the three. But Kobe did his thing, and obviously there was going to be a stop action, and you knew the other guy was going to get the ball. You couldn't have scripted this game any better.
And Kobe Bryant is defending LeBron James.
The thing is, too, you can see the stands, everyone's standing. And again, 5 out, and LeBron takes it, and he does get great penetration, but does not knock it down, and they acknowledge one another. And there was really good camaraderie. And, you see Kevin Durant there, he's still a teenager, and he almost made that Olympic team. And but the camaraderie was outstanding. See what Tyson does. Tyson did come in to make him adjust his shot. So that helped defense. And you could feel that night that we were on our way to building something very, very good. And it translated into the Tournament of Americas, where I think we won every game by 35 points. But a great rapport was developed, and then people were anxious to get ready for Beijing.